The international accelerator for creating new digital services and products, Urban Tech Moscow, needs no introduction. Hackathons, which take place in different countries of the world under its auspices, are very popular among IT experts, including experts in IT from Kazakhstan. Within the Almaty stage, IT specialists competed for the main prize of 60 million tenge. Urban Tech Moscow is an international competition, an accelerator for creating digital solutions for the urban environment. It includes 6 international tours in 6 countries, respectively. These are Israel, Czech Republic, Latvia, Kazakhstan, Belarus, and Armenia. There is also a series of industry events in Moscow, and the final event, Mayor's Award.
Финальное мероприятие, премию мэра, которое будет проходить в Москве с 29 ноября по 2 декабря.
25 teams or 123 people registered for the Almaty Hackathon. According to the organizers of the contest, the number of participants in the southern capital of Kazakhstan exceeded the number of participants in Minsk and Riga. We initially selected countries and partner cities for this event, and we had a number of reasons for this. One of them is, of course, a strong community of developers. The second reason is the presence of partnerships with local authorities. We have a strategic partner. It is a development center of Almaty city. We plan that all solutions that will be invented as part of our program will be tested both in Moscow and on the site of our partner cities. One of the participants in the competition was Yermurat Yergali. The startupper and his team got the urgent task of optimizing the time for sorting and delivering garbage with the city's special equipment. We plan to install sensors on containers, and they will be connected to the main base for sorting garbage. It will look like this. A ready-filled container will automatically appear in the database, and vehicles will immediately pick up and empty filled containers. Thus, we minimize the amount of time and optimize the overall system of the collection and delivery of garbage. Another, no less creative task was assigned to Ruslan Saribayev. Together with the team, he had to come up with a marketplace that tracks the movement of public transport, which will allow passengers to calculate their route and waiting time at bus stops to the nearest minute. Each time, we are sent geodata and the precise time of the location point. Using this data, we can easily measure where a vehicle needs to be shown on the map. In total, the hackathon in Almaty was held in 5 areas: artificial intelligence, finance, smart city, management system, and marketplaces. The authors of the best ideas got the opportunity to take part in a roadshow through the innovative belt of Moscow. Swiss pharmaceutical corporation Novartis bought the manufacturer of the drug for lowering cholesterol, the Medicines Company. Under the terms of the deal, the holding will pay $85 in cash for each share of the American manufacturer of the experimental drug, Iscliceran. Its use will reduce the level of bad cholesterol in the blood by 58%. Due to this transaction, the value of the assets of the Medicines Company has grown to $10 billion. The discount online service Honey, which is used by 17 million visitors per month, was sold to PayPal for $4 billion. The startup will be one of the most important purchases in the history of the corporation, said CEO of the payment company, Dan Schulman. Honey has impressive performance. In 2018, it helped save its customers $1 billion. PayPal executives expect this platform to streamline the shopping process for consumers and increase online store sales. The parties plan to close the deal in the first quarter of 2020. Marketplace IDA is a platform for the sale of construction materials. Its main difference from analogs is the absence of resellers, dealers, and distributors. Startup connects customers directly with manufacturers of goods and allows to significantly save on the purchase. We check all the suppliers that we add to the system. We check whether there is such a factory. Is it a factory at all? Because many say that they produce and they have a factory, and when you come, you see an office on the 6th floor in a 5-story building. An office with a square footage of 2 by 2 meters, 1 table, 2 chairs, and this is a factory. We, of course, do not let such people join our system because we need good producers who can handle the orders. Today, the startup has about 60 regular users. Basically, these are large suppliers who supply construction sites with necessary materials, as well as specialized companies. Since the launch of the project, the maximum turnover for the marketplace IDA has already reached 300 million tenge. We take only 1% of the transaction conducted in our service. It is paid to us by the supplier of materials for the use of our resources. Specifically, we give them a production management system, where we have created a large information system for them in which they work and conduct their production. They do not need to spend money on CRM systems, on ERP systems. We have dealt with this issue ourselves. To find the right material, the client just needs to type its name in the search engine. At the same time, the system will also offer related products. For example, when buying a laminate for the convenience of the consumer, the substrate for it will automatically appear in the search results. For many, it's just like an online store. In fact, the system is much more complex. That is, we have a lot of goods and each product must be correctly counted, because some items are counted according to their own packaging standards. Some items are counted in kilograms, others in cubes, and so on. We have made a more sophisticated system for calculating each product. We immediately ask the client how much of the working area he needs to cover and already considered the packaged goods. It turns out a little more, but enough of the amount the client needs. The main task of startuppers at the moment is to establish efficient logistics so that the client can almost immediately receive the goods after payment. Once this issue is resolved, the developers intend to scale the business to the market of neighboring Russia. If the plan's implemented over time, it will be possible to purchase goods on the IDA marketplace throughout the entire territory of the Eurasian Economic Union. Can you hear me? Too much light. This way is fine. Hello, my name is Anton Musin. I'm Managing Director of Accenture, Kazakhstan. Telemedicine, in simple terms, is a provision of medical services at a distance using modern means of data transfer, internet networks, and other data transfer networks. With the help of these technologies, it is possible to provide medical services at a distance one way or another. This is a very fast-growing market. It is adding up to 20% annually. Probably the most popular service at the moment from the point of view of telemedicine, which may have already used, is the possibility of obtaining medical consultation via the internet. When you see the doctor via the internet, there are special places where you can go, pay money remotely, and receive the consultation.
Заплатить деньги удаленно и получить консультацию. Это удобно.
It is convenient, fast, and solves the issues of obtaining medical services in remote regions, getting medical services at least in the form of a consultation so that people do not self-medicate.
Медицинских услуг хотя бы в терминах получения консультации, чтобы люди не занимались самолечением.
The second application of this kind of services is broadcasting surgical operations using telemedicine. This is a passive broadcast. That is, we show how this or that procedure is performed to someone, and the doctors get advice in the context of this operation.
Как проводится та или иная медицинская процедура кому-то, и доктора получают консультацию в разрезе проведения данной операции.
Well, the very element is to carry out medical procedures at a distance when you have a device on the side where the patient is located, which allows you to carry out a medical operation. It can even be an abdominal surgery when the surgeon is located at some distance from the patient.
Доктор, сам хирург, находится на каком-то расстоянии от пациента.
There are two problems here, and they are still poorly resolved. One of the problems that impacts many other things is a problem of channel bandwidth. When the doctor, having done some manipulation, understands that the device that repeated his action performs it with a delay. In this connection, the doctor is unable to react quickly.
Устройство, которое повторяло его манипуляцию, произвело эту манипуляцию с задержкой. То есть доктор не может быстро реагировать.
This problem is being solved with the advent of new fifth-generation networks, data transmission networks, because data transmission technologies were designed also for such tasks as telemedicine.
Под эти задачи во многом, в том числе и задачи телемедицины, подобного рода технологии передачи данных и проектировались.
The second problem is the reliability of the end devices. They should be as reliable as possible. They must have specific robotic properties so as not to harm the patient. The development of such devices is a big technological task.
Свойства, чтобы не навредить пациенту. Это большая задача, технологическая разработка подобного рода устройств.
Building Information Modeling, or BIM. This is how information modeling technology is called, which allows you to track all the processes of design, construction, and operation of construction. The peculiarity of this approach lies in the fact that the construction project is actually designed as a whole, and the correction of one of its parameters entails automatic changes in other calculations up to the drawing's calendar schedule and cost of materials. This is a whole philosophy. This is modeling in design business through a synthesis of all existing programs today. If earlier, for example, there was a planner image of the project and it would have been rather difficult to determine certain errors in the design business, today, through this new program, we can quite easily determine where and what error usually occurs. Digital Kazakhstan, a new paradigm for introducing BIM technologies in education and practice. It's a universal discussion platform where representatives of government agencies, technical universities, design and construction organizations discuss current issues of the application of information modeling. The organizer of this event is the Kazgor Design Academy, which over the past 7 years has been studying and implementing BIM processes in the Republic. Kazakhstan is now at the implementation stage. To date, the number of companies that deal with this technology is small. According to our estimates, this figure is very small, about 1%. This suggests that there is still a lot of work. Therefore, such forums as today, ones will help to expand the circle of participants, learn new implementation options, and see international experience. Sadbayev University is the first domestic university where students of the Department of Architecture and Design study the BIM technologies. In addition to that, they practice their skills of information modeling on a software solution from Autodesk, the world's largest supplier of software for industrial and civil construction. We signed a strategic agreement a year and a half ago with Sadbayev University, under which we provide free software with our fully functional tools for all students, for the entire university. We also provide them with methodological support and train the entire staff and teachers. To switch to a new platform, reorganization of the workflow is necessary, which is impossible without the involvement of a qualified specialist, BIM manager, since knowledge of the toolkit of the program does not guarantee successful and coordinated work of the technology in several departments or organizations.
There's huge potential for Kazakhstan to move forward with BIM. Companies such as Kazgar are leading the way in trying to bring the rest of the industry up. There are many challenges still to be faced, but there's a willingness amongst the senior government to do it, which helps drive that change and will ultimately make the change for Kazakhstan and the rest of the world, really.
Today, there are hundreds of objects built in the Republic using information modeling. But according to experts, the situation in this matter will change dramatically in the next few years. And those companies that mastered the BIM technology will occupy leading positions in the Kazakhstan market, as well as gain access to international projects. The future of print media is not as bright as one might hope, but not for Oyla. The potential of this popular science publication is growing every year. In 2018, the magazine appeared on the shelves of New Zealand, Australia, and South Korea. Next in turn are about 8 countries where the domestic media startup will compete with the oldest scientific periodicals of Europe. A key feature of our magazine is that we are trying to integrate educational material into the magazine itself. In our magazines, you very rarely find news content that someone have discovered something somewhere. But we will definitely tell you why it was discovered or how it was discovered. We will describe the experiment, explain why this is important, and give a perspective, and try to connect this with those fundamental things that were already discovered. Today, the total circulation of the publication is 38,000 copies. 20,000 of them are printed in Kazakhstan in Russian and Kazakh languages. Since publishers position their brainchild as a family magazine, it can be assumed that the monthly reach of Kazakhstan's audience is 80,000 people. That is, one copy passes through the hands of 4 readers. 40 authors from Kazakhstan and neighboring countries are working on it to make the content interesting to everyone, to both young and old. All dates, all names, all numbers, everything is very carefully verified. We pass along the articles to each other several times so that we can see it with a fresh look. Because in the end, children are the ones who read us. And children should receive not only scientific information, but also information that is very competently presented. Monetization of print media is carried out according to 2 classic models. The first is a subscription through an affiliate retail network. The second is advertising. Today, the School of Sciences operates under the magazine, which in the future will probably become the 3rd source of income for the editorial staff. At this school, children study the topics outlined in the periodicals in depth. 2 months ago, we launched a full-fledged school with a capacity of 90 people, including an inclusive team. This school is not classical. This is a school of continuing education. We teach before and after school in the direction of the natural sciences. These are chemistry, biology, physics, computer science, and mathematics. There are 15 people in each group. Lectures are conducted in a non-standard way. For example, children can analyze or even fantasize how scientists came to certain discoveries and why they were looking for them. In the first hour, we work according to the Revin method. This is when we select a topic, read it in paragraphs, and tell it to each other. We tell each paragraph to different people. After that, one of us goes to the blackboard and speaks on his topic. With the same undisguised interest, European school children will soon be learning through the multicolored pages of the popular science publication. At the same time, 95% of the content will remain from Kazakhstan. Since the content of the magazine is the main competitive advantage of the domestic media startup in foreign markets. Co-founder of Aviata.kz, Alexei Lee, left the company and sold his stake. Thus, the service completely went to the Choco family holding. The United Travel company continues to grow significantly faster than the market itself. In 1 year and a half, it increased its turnover by 2.7 times, up to 8 billion tenge per month. According to Alexei Lee, after the merger, he was involved in corporate governance as a member of the supervisory board. The company successfully passed the merger period and from month to month showed steady growth. Therefore, he realized that he could leave the company with a clear conscience and concentrate on the development of another platform, the next generation supermarket, arbuz.kz. 150 million euros are invested in Almaty Airport. According to the co-founder and CEO of TAV Airports Holding, Sani Shenir, these funds will significantly increase the capabilities of the updated airport. Every year, the airline industry is growing at a fast pace. Together with it, passenger traffic is also increasing. Today, 7 billion passengers use air travel services. By 2036, this figure will be doubled. According to various studies, within the next 20 years, there will be a need for about 500,000 new pilots and aircrafts. The Almaty airport, the largest in the region, will also face an increase in passenger traffic.